Hello everyone, my name is Notepad and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to actually wrap up Glitterbreak. Yes, today is going to be the final day. Now you may be wondering, oh no, this is such a tragedy. There's going to be so much work to do. There really isn't that much work to do, to be perfectly frank with y'all. There really isn't that much work left to be done. Most of it is exterior stuff. I put 3 still, it should be 4. Yeah, it's 4. Good. I'm like, wait a second. I got him. Ah, delicious. Yeah. So what happened in the between times? Well, if we go over here, fix some things here to make things a little bit prettier. I haven't added any artwork because I was like, I'm gonna maybe change something. I never really. Minions are broken down. Minions kind of got a small change, which I think should be better for the long run. I think. Pretty much the idea is that they have their... You pretty much have to buy a squad size and then buy up. I did notice, however, there was some weird pricing issues with minions. I need to go in there and actually fix some things, maybe kind of edit some numbers around. Generally speaking, and kaiju, oh god, kaiju. Initially, I wanted kaiju to be like a selected thing, like I want to choose to bring this kaiju into the field. That wasn't working, so I'm like, well, I already have all these systems in place. So what I did was I pretty much did a Forces of Evil creation system for them, except they get some other bonuses and penalties, such as being put on a 100mm base. You have larger movement. You don't have as high defense anymore. However, you have a shit ton more health and more protection, so you're not even taking that much more damage. Yeah, costs are still very much in the air, by the way. Only major difference between the kaiju is that they don't have as many weapons. But the benefit being, you can have 2 weapons, but they are always equipped. So you can have technically 2 heavy melee weapons. You can have a melee, a heavy range weapon and a light melee. You can do that if you want. Yeah, it's completely up to you. Armor is the same way. Armor kind of got reduced, but there's a few different, little notes here and there for them. Our auxiliary, they only have passive auxiliary. They can't use any equipment, so they can't like throw a grenade or something. And most of their tags are the exact same, except they have things like leap and a few of the other ones that don't really make sense for them. But yeah, this is kind of the main thing that we need to do right now, which is campaign play. And what I should technically do, I should do is put in one-offs. Actually, campaign play and actually, we should say objectives and campaign play. So, yeah, this is kind of my idea. This is going to be the main meat of things. The one-off battles are like, what are the objectives? Not exactly the most pulse pounding things in the world, but it doesn't really need to be pulse pounding because it's just there to make sure things. So yeah, that's Glitterbreak. Ta-da! Hopefully no one's expecting anything super fun and exciting, because it's literally just going to be this. Overall, this project's going pretty well. It's just a lot of stuff. Like that, and I knew that like the second I was going in, like this is just a lot of shit to worry about. Not a lot of like complicated stuff, just stuff. So let's get everything set up here. Gotta make sure you're all right. Right. So, campaign and objective play. Objectives and campaign play. The main goal of any match of Glitterbreak is to complete the objective. Complete the objective. Complete the objective, no matter the cost. No matter the cost. As a glitter squad or the forces of evil. as a glitter squad over the forces of evil. Those objectives are often different. Weak. There are two methods to. Okay, there are two methods to determining depth terminal. Determining two methods. What do I want to work this? Okay, Glitterbreak can be played in two methods. One-off, say off, or one-off or campaigns. A one-off is a match between two players with a set mana limit and a randomly chosen objective. Let's see, once the objective is chosen, the objective is a match between two players with set mana limit and randomly chosen objective. This objective is chosen. Play begins. A one-off is a single battle. So a campaign has both sides draft their initial lists of their supporters and squad mates. Let's see, campaign has both sides draft their list of supporters and squad mates with a set mana limit. But every game played has lasting consequences and advancement for both sides. Often a campaign acts as a quote tug of war between the glitters and the forces of evil. And forces of the Dark Lord. With each victory or defeat leading closer to annihilation or victory. Oh, someone's pinging me. Who's pinging me? Oh, hello, Cantankerous Bees. This is Glitterbreak. Glitterbreak is a game about magical girls. Most notably, it's a skirmish game about magical girls, because I realized there wasn't one. Yeah, skirmish games between magical girls don't actually exist, so I said, fuck it, and I'm writing one. That's literally it. And currently, over the past 2 weeks now, I've written all of this with the idea of being able to play your very own Magical Girl Skirmish game, where you can either take the role of the Glitter Squad, the proud heroes, or take the role of the forces of evil and try to smash your enemies. It's literally it. I try to keep it as less Meguca as possible. So this is like classic Magical Girl bullshit. It's great. So, often campaigns act as a tug of war between glitters and forces of evil, with each victory or defeat leading closer to annihilation or victory. It was actually kind of odd, because like because in my, let's see, sure. Sometimes Google does that. I don't know why. Because actually my let's do my things Notepad Anon wants to do a public document. anyone can go here. I did actually write down a straight up Magical Girl game because I actually realized that there wasn't actually many. There aren't actually that many Magical Girl games out there, and most of the Magical Girl games out there are Meguca. And by Meguca, I effectively mean they are a very certain kind of magical girls being very dramatic and very sad and usually dying. So I'm like, no, I want magical girls like fucking Precure. The anime models were a little bit big for what I was thinking of. For a magical girl game about subverting magical girl. You would be amazed at the number of those goddamn things there are. Let's do skirmish game objectives. Let's just see. Can we copy things? Let's see. Oh wow! Look, everybody. Howdy. How? Well, don't mind if I do. Let's see. We need to go to. Oh wait, I don't got any of the advanced rules, do I? Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. Okay. I'm trying to think of like what would be some good. Take that one out. The one issue I have with this computer, my new computer, my lovely new computer, is that there's only one fucking USB slot. So I gotta, sometimes I gotta cycle things out every now and again. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there are actually quite a few games that are that amount to I'm a magical girl, but I'm, you know, subverting expectations. I'm like, that's great and all. That's lovely. Subverting expectations are fine, but when you do it constantly, it stops being fine. It's like, oh, like you're doing it again. It's a goddamn Jimmy Neutron meme. Let's consult on God. On God. Let's see. On God, a swashbuckling skirmish game. Give me objectives. There we go. Scenarios. Time of day, victory points. Victory capture. All right. Okay, so our basic objectives. Let's do our basic objectives. We can do a capture and hold. But we need to theme this around, because obviously we do. A duel. Actually, we can actually do a duel, so the idea would be a little bit different. Defense. Defense is pretty obvious. Let's do escort. We can have an idea of an escort. Let's see, occupy a building or feature. That's kind of like a capture and hold. Kill as many of the enemy as possible. Raid does work pretty well for this. Here, okay. So we can make Hungar go away. Yeah, pretty much like that's kind of the issue with a lot of Megucas, is that they do tend to be like, oh, it's this one again, or hey, everybody, look, it's this again. Once you see it the first time, you've seen them probably a few times. So, one off battles. Okay, so when the players agree, the standard way to standard way to play Glitterbreak is a one-off. Battle. Two forces meet. One leaves. The let's see. So the standard way to play Glitterbreak is a one-off battle. Two forces meet. One leaves. These battles have prearranged mana totals for their lists. Let's see, prearranged mana totals for their lists. These basic mana totals are the following. So 100. Let's do 150 mana. Actually, we'll do 100 mana, which is a lower stakes, less power, far quicker, because you really can't bring that much. Like 100. I was doing the math the other day. So for context sake, these are the two lists. This is the Glitter Squad. We have our 4-man Glitter Squad team, which they did after kind of doing crunching some numbers. They turned out pretty well. Like these are our 4-man Glitter Squad team. They came up to 150 points for just the 4 of them having like decent equipment. It was very expensive because you have to pay 10 for each. That might get changed, honestly, just because of how expensive it is. Which also kind of brings me to the Forces of Evil, because we only have Garglemax here. Yes, Garglemax, the Destroyer himself. However, he has 28 additional models with him. And these aren't shitty models either. These are pretty good squads of guys he can bring with him. Just giant shit tons of units he's just be able to throw at his enemies. So yeah, about 150 turned out to be as average as I could get it reliably. Anything more, like So far quicker. So 150 mana. The average, and then finally 200 mana. Higher stakes, higher power, a bit slow, and we'll say slower. So roughly speaking, you're looking at 100 to about 200 mana for each of them. Rolling for the objective. Changes the placement of important units, of important features of the battlefield. The placement of important features on the battlefield. So our objectives are going to be capture and hold, duel, defense, escort, raid, and finally choose 2. Yes, we're going to have an option for double or nothing. So we're going to have capture and hold, which is going to be... So pretty much this is going to be seize, we're going to call it. Seize. The forces, actually, let's say, how do I want to word this? Actually, no, okay. The forces of evil have deployed to take over a location. They are tasked with swarming the area and taking points. These points are marked marked as either terrain or specified locations. Specified locations on the board. At least we will say we salt our thing here. So we can do probably maybe at least 9 inches, apart from other. Should the force every turn a force once a location actually once if a force of evil unit has if a force of evil unit is in or by the if the force of evil unit is in the area, they have in the area with no glitter squad member present, they will seize control. If 2 or more of the locations If 2 or more of these locations are seized, they have won. They have won the battle. Because the idea is, let's see, task will swarm the area. These there are 3 points marked as either terrain or specified locations on the board, at least 9 inches apart. I should say there are 3 to 4 points on the marked as. Actually, no, we'll do 3 points, with the idea being they're kind of spread out in the middle, and the entire idea is that the forces of evil are deploying. They rush up to those locations, and it's the glitter squad is kind of saying, what can we defend? Where do we want to go? And like, again, it's the glitter squad is always reactive. They're always the one trying to stop the forces of evil from doing things. We want to seize a location. We're going to stop you from seizing the location. We want to defend something. We want to stop you from defending this. So the forces of evil deploy take over location. They're swarming the area, taking points. They have won the battle. So both sides deploy. Opposite sides of the board. Choosing, starting with both sides deploy on opposite sides of the board. The glitter squad player chooses which location, actually which terrain or location is the first objective. The forces of evil player chooses the second, and finally the glitter squad chooses the final one. So the glitter squad is going to have advantage in placement, but the forces of evil are going to have usually like one where it's like, oh, you decide to put one all the way back there. I'm going to put this point on my side of the board. So now I've pretty much have this, and there's no way you can actually claim it. So now we have to fight over it, rather than like, okay, I'm gonna put one here to kind of make it a little bit more awkward for you to put yours. Well, I put mine here, so this other one's kind of has to go in kind of an odd place. Spreading them out on this board, you both looked at it, you're like, man, we screwed each other over because we're assholes, which is the entire point. There we go. Choose a second final one. Okay, because then it would be at that idea. Then you would check the location. That would be the idea. So okay, so duel. The forces of evil. The forces of evil captain wishes to personally destroy the Glitter Squad. Personally destroy the Glitter Squad. Confronted with a challenge, the Glitter Squad has to defeat the captain. Captain before they can successfully defeat them. This is let's see, the forces of evil captain. The forces of evil captain has a mission to successfully as a mission to eliminate have to down. Actually, the force of evil captain has a mission to down over half of the glitter of glitter squad. Half of the glitter squad. Down half of the glitter squad. Glitter squad is tasked with bringing them down no matter what. Let's see, the glitter squad deploys in the center of the battlefield. We'll do both sides play on opposite sides of the board. Opposite sides of the board. I will say 6 inches from their side of the table. Yeah. The forces, the glitter squad. The glitter squad must deploy first. Then the forces of evil. So actually, the forces of evil. See, the forces of evil will deploy first. First, the glitter squad. Then the glitter squad. So kind of the idea here in the first one in C's is that the glitter squad has the advantage of knowing where the forces of evil are going to come from, with the disadvantage of they're going to know where the forces of evil are going to come from and how they're going to get probably attacked. So it's like, okay, do we focus everything here, but what do we do with this squad over here? It gets a little bit hanky. The duel is the forces of evil know where you are and how to hunt you down better. They want to find you and they want to beat you up. Also, thank you, Cantankerous Bees, for following. I gotta do this. Gotta go 117. Welcome to game design, otherwise known as me losing my mind. It's the best. People like to think like it's this fun and exciting adventure. It's really not. It's very dull. Let's see. So the forces of evil have been tasked. Been given the duty to defend a location, but with their lives. Let's see. The glitter squad must defeat them. Must defeat them and destroy and deactivate and must defeat them and seize their defensive location. No matter the cost. The forces of evil must defend a full point. Must defend a location from the glitter squad. Here. actually, that's if a glitter squad unit is in the area with no forces of evil versus evil units present, they will seize control. If the location is seized, then the glitter squad has emerged victorious. Is seized for 2 rounds. Actually, no. Yeah. If the location is seized, then the glitter squad has emerged. So it's kind of like a reverse seize, which is just the idea of the forces of evil are tasked with defending a location, but you're gonna get like attacked right off the bat. So see, the forces of evil will deploy within we'll say 5 inches of the objective, while the glitter squad will choose a side of the table to deploy on. Actually, while the glitter squad is able to deploy any of their units on any edge of the table, within 6 inches. The forces of evil must deploy first. Then the glitter squad will. We're gonna know where all our guys are. You're not going to know. We're going to be kind of in a precarious situation where we don't know. Oh no, we're gonna get swarmed, or oh no, we're gonna get beat up or something. That's the entire point. We've done it, everybody. We've successfully learned how to do basic objectives. So escort the. Actually, how do I want to? Actually, yeah, no. What we want to do, it wouldn't be an escort necessarily. What would you call an opposite escort? Actually, I know. Kidnap. The forces of evil have identified a unique individual that is close to the glitter squad. Let's see, that is close to the glitter squad. They must be taken. They must be kidnapped. The forces of evil are let's see, so actually a helpless unit is deployed in the center. Actually a helpless unit is deployed in the center of the map. Center of the map, and the forces of evil must grab and escort them to the an edge of the map. The glitter squad must rush in and save their friend from the squad must rush in and save their friend from evil. Trying to do the same thing. Let's see. So the force of evil will deploy within. Actually, both sides deploy on. Both sides deploy opposite sides of the board on their side of the table. Technically the force of evil will deploy first, and then the glitter. Actually, it would be the forces of evil will deploy. Actually, the glitter squad Glitter Squad will deploy. Will place the helpless unit. Helpless unit. Actually, we'll place the. We'll place the kidnap target. Place the victim. Helpless unit. Within 3 inches of the center of the board. So pretty much you just determine where the center of the board is, and then you can measure around with about three, and actually we can probably do about 5 inches from that location, being like, I want to deploy them here. I want to deploy them closer to me, farther away from me. Kind of that idea. Or I want to deploy them in a building or something. Should the unit be, should the victim interacted with, should the victim be interacted with, should the victim be activated, that unit will be able to move half of their speed, half of their move. Pretty much the idea being that you're dragging them and they're trying to resist a little bit, or they're just like very awkward, like, what's going on, Megumi-chan, being like, I'm trying to save you. So we got all of these, so let's, we can probably post all of them. So actually I'll just do raid fast. So raid, the forces of evil have launched a raid for their chaos. Have launched a raid against the people, against the citizens of the city. They have landed their forces. And they've landed their forces and are attempting to kidnap people to bring back to the Dark Lord's pain chambers. Ooh, spooky. So, there are 15. Actually, we'll say there are 10 helpless units. Actually, there are 10 citizens, helpless units, deployed around the map. If more than half are interacted with by a forces of evil unit, then they are kidnapped and removed. If the forces of evil manage to secure half, 6, they have. Let's see, from the side there, we'll place. Both sides deploy on 6 inches from their side of the board. The Glitter Squad. Let's see. So we want to do the Glitter Squad. We'll place the first victim, and then alternate, until all 10 victims are placed. Force of Evil deploy first, and then the Glitter Squad. Should a victim be activated, they are immediately kidnapped by the forces of evil, or can be moved 4 inches in any direction by a Glitter Squad member. Kind of the idea, like, you can shove them around very slightly, but they're not really moving very fast. They're like, oh no, there's a villain trying to kill us, please go this way, but you're using actions to do it. You're pretty much saying, okay, this guy's in an awkward place, I'm gonna throw him over there. So neither side can just, pretty much what I'm trying to avoid here is one person to like, I'm gonna put 5 units right here next to my thing, but that's what I'm trying to avoid. Actually, all victims, oh, at least 8 inches from deployment, deployment side of both. Okay. Choose 2. Choose. Roll twice. The evil. The evil are launching a double operation. They must succeed. They must succeed at both. But they must succeed at both to victorious. Victorious, but the glitter squad. Actually, let's see. They must succeed at a single objective. What do I want to do? Using a double operation. Two of the objectives. 2 of the objectives are chosen, and the captain of the forces of evil must complete at least one of them. Complete at least one of them. Using the deployment method of either of them as chosen by the glitter squad. So it's kind of the idea, the forces of evil pretty much have 2 objectives they can't complete, and as long as they complete one, they're going to be victorious. However, the idea being like, okay, we rolled defense plus kidnap senpai, and they may say, oh, all right, I want to play senpai on like this side of the field. Actually, or it could be like, oh, here's defense and kidnap senpai. Okay, we're gonna be doing it as if we're deploying to kidnap senpai with a defense thing right in the middle. So we can like, you can try to defend that location, but we're gonna take it and we're going to win, because that's the victory condition for us, is that if we seize this location, we win. So it's kind of that back and forth being like, if you kidnap this person, you're gonna win, but if you lose this completely, you're also going to lose. So it's kind of that back and forth, like, kind of awkward situation that the forces of evil find themselves in. It's like, oh no, like you're at a disadvantage. At the same time, you have an advantage of being able to kind of manipulate the field a little. Glitter Squad always kind of has an advantage in that regard. Okay, so I will most likely actually like go over. Like, I'll probably go over almost all of these. Actually, we want one. No, I don't want to do that. I just want to do like one. I want to do something like this. Or 5, 6 down here for roll twice. Select everything here. What if we go down to 10 for this? So if we go down to 10 for them, everyone, this all fits in one location. So roll for the object, change the placement of important features. Roll a 1d6 and determine. Roll a 1d6 to randomly determine. Determine an objective, or choose an objective. Both sides wish to play. So if you just want to play a C's game, just play a fucking C's game. Or you want to play a duel, play a duel. So yeah, I'll probably have to go back in here and like just double check all the work. I just kind of want to get this done more than anything. Because sometimes that's all we really want to do. We just want to get shit done. And when things get done, we don't have to think about our problems anymore. Don't have to think about our problems anymore. Better. Delicious coffee. Okay, so now we have to do personal battles. Luckily, again, these aren't too complicated. So we go here, we select everything. So personal battles, two player campaigns, a personal battle. Battle is an agreed upon campaign with two players, one taking the role of the forces of evil, and the other a glitter squad. Both sides will begin play with a 150 mana list. 150 mana list. When the battle occurs. So we'll call it the victory track. See, okay, the victory track starts at 0. Actually, to track victories and defeats. A victory track is used, ranging from 5 to -5. Every victory from a side increases the victory track their side. Actually, every victory from 5 to -5. The victory track is a method to track victories. From both sides. If the forces of evil are victorious, they lower the track. By a step. If glitter squad emerges victorious, they raise the track. By a step. Pretty standard stuff. Again, it's a tug of war. I'm going back a little bit, you're going back a little bit. That's the entire idea. So, as a method to keep track victories on both sides, the force of the victory, the lower track by a step. So, how do we word this? How we word this is we open up Osprey's on guard. literally the Osprey method of a campaign is like just fuck it, it just works. If the runners where they was checked by a step. So when the battle is chosen, when the players meet. Actually, when the players meet, the forces of evil will determine. See, the forces of evil will. I don't want to word this. When the players meet, the forces of evil will determine the objective. Will determine the objective and the game type being played. Played. The glitter squad will be able to play. Then a regular game plays out. Pretty much all the campaign is like a regular game is going to play out, except when the game ends, determine an amount of mana. When the game ends, actually, I'll determine the objective of the game being played. Regular game played. The glitter squad will be one to determine the amount of. Let's see, glitter squad will be the one to determine the amount of steps are at risk. Each game allowing the gamble to increase by 1 step, which we're then footnote right here, which is going to be stating the first game will be 1 step. The second can be 2 steps, and the third 1, 2, 3 steps. Pretty much the idea behind this is the forces of evil are always going to have the idea of what the objective is going to be. You're always going to know. On the other hand, the glitter squad is going to be kind of determining the pace, with the idea being like, we have this overwhelming advantage right now. I'm not going to risk it. Like, we're going to kind of chip you down. Even if I lose, I kind of still win. But if they're getting desperate, they might want to do some big gambles, like, we're at the verge of defeat anyway, we may as well go full ham. So it's kind of that. Both sides kind of have a little bit of power over the other. That's kind of the idea. That's because how I plan on doing advancement. Which, let's see, I can probably take that out. The first game will be played with 1 step, can be worth. So, at the end of the battle, both players will record what occurred during the match, and allow their units to match and tally up the total mana they've gained. For their individual elite units. So, the idea, for the glitter squad, because the glitter squad. Every time. So this is kind of more like, let's just string all our things together more than anything. The citywide brawl is going to be the odd one out. That one's going to have like a specific objective in it. So let's do this right. So the glitter squad. So total mana. Each mana gain can only be applied once per battle. So if you going down, so actually we'll put footnote. Actually, footnote. Going down twice. Going down as a Glitter Squad member. Member will not double. Not double mana gain. Not double the mana gain. So the Glitter Squad. So individual Glitter Squad members are going to get +2 mana. +2 mana for partaking in the battle. Actually, +1 mana for being in battle. Just by default, actually +2. If you are deployed, you're going to get mana. You're going to get +2 mana for downing in elite. Actually, we'll do +4 mana for that because again, they don't have that many elites. They're going to get +3 mana. Actually, we'll do +3 mana for being downed. So that would be 3 mana. So let's say you get 5 mana for just going down in a fight, just by default. So actually, we could probably, you know, that actually somewhat works. Let's see. Let's see. +2 mana for actually we'll do +3 mana for winning the battle. +2 mana for losing the battle. So by default, you will always get about 4 XP, 4 mana to just add to your guys just by virtue of being a part of it. And then we'll see, we'll get +1 mana for damaging a minion squad. +3 mana from being down, plus for winning, for losing a battle. Probably tone that down. Actually, we can do steps bet. Victory. We'll do victory track steps bet. In brackets here real fast. So the idea being that, like, if you bet a bunch of victory track steps, you're gonna be able to get a lot of mana out of it. Victory. So +2 mana. You're gonna get something for losing, but if you bet a little, maybe losing is actually a better idea. Think smart. So, damaging a minion squad. Just damaging, not really destroying, because again, there's gonna be so many fucking minions. Is there anything else in the... Actually, yes. We're gonna do a +4 mana for downing a kaiju. And then +1 mana for contributing damage to an elite or kaiju. You're going to get it. Actually, contributing damage to an elite or kaiju, but not downing them. Put that as a note. You're going to get mana for just participating in the fucking fight. You're just going to get more. You're going to actually be able to pretty rapidly build your power. And that's what the Glitter Squad's allowed to do. But this is per Glitter Squad members. So if a member doesn't do much, like if you focus on everything on a single member and you have one person just killing everything, they're going to have a problem because they're going to get really powerful. Everyone else isn't really going to get powerful. So it's kind of like that. Oh, shucks. But they have a fairly consistent game. Let's see. Then we'll do the Forces of Evil. Forces of Evil elites. So they get, by virtue of just being part of a battle, plus we'll do we'll do that, but they also get, they don't get as much for downing a squad member. Actually, downing an elite, let's say. They don't get much for being part of a battle or downing people, because again, that's not really their point. I am going to give them a kaiju one, just in case. Actually, no, I'm not going to give them a kaiju one, because they will never down a kaiju in this particular variant. Let's see, +1 mana for damaging an elite, not downing them. We'll give them +4 mana for completing the objective. And then we'll do +4 mana for we'll say we'll do victory track steps mana for winning the battle. Also give them for losing the battle. Actually, what we'll do, we do this. So the idea is that if they lose a fight, they're going to get pretty strong. But if you win a fight, you're going to not get as much because you're kind of expected to win. Maybe something like how we want to do that. They're not really going to get anything there. But we're going to do +3. So we're going to do +4 mana for downing an elite. Okay, we don't really have that much. We'll give them +5 for it. We will do, how do we want to word this? Pretty much, again, these guys are fucking evil. Actually, no, okay, I know. +2 for a. Actually, no. No, okay. Actually, we'll do okay, we'll do +2 for every minion, or we'll do +1 for minion squads. Minion squads deployed. And then we'll do we'll do a 5 or less members. +2 for minion squads deployed. Squads deployed. Actually, no, it'd be plus. No, that's not how. Actually, we'll do +3 mana for minion squad. Minion squad defeats minion squads downing elites. So we'll do that, and we want the forces of evil to get increased in power. Because if we're doing that, do this. Then we do tool, sort of paragraph A to Z. We select all of you. Extension, tool. So we want extension, sort of paragraph A to Z. Actually, unless we switch these around. +2 mana for being defeated. Actually, they're not going to get any mana for being defeated in battle, because they really shouldn't. Actually, no. +2 mana being defeated in battle, for losing the battle. so. +2 mana. Oh, winning the battle because you haven't really learned anything. That's the entire point. We want to learn things. So, the forces of evil's captain. Captain may spend any gained mana on themselves, their subordinates, or let's see, can spend any mana on themselves, their subordinates, or minions. Themselves, their subordinates, or minions. A glitter squad member may only spend it on herself, or yeah, a glitter squad may only spend it on herself. Only on herself. So yeah, that's kind of the idea. Like, whoever you bring in, those are the ones that are just going to get collectively stronger. The force of evil allow to spend it on anyone, with the idea being like, I want to recruit a subordinate eventually, because subordinates are going to make your life easier, because subordinates are going to be pretty powerful units. So actually, what I should do is into the battle and go one step. Actually, move from 3 to 5, -5. The victory track is a method that tracks victories and defeats. If the evil are victorious, they lower the track. And if they lower the track, and the glitter squad will raise it. If a forces of evil subordinate ever has more mana than captain, they replace the captain. So if force of evil subordinate ever has more mana than the captain, they replace the captain, refunding all mana they have spent on themselves. They have spending all mana the captain has spent on themselves. Let's see, refunding all the mana the captain has spent on themselves and redistributing to their forces. So, kind of the idea is that actually, if we do this will look a little nicer. This is kind of like the one thing, yeah, if you ever have more mana than the captain, they replace the captain just outright. Like, by virtue of just being more valuable, of being stronger, having better equipment, you've been replaced. And that's a very genuine threat. If you have like, oh, well, mine guy is not as like forthcoming and he's like designed to not be, you know, very big and scary, he's not gonna last as captain for very long. You need to kind of build a scary character who's gonna be able to get into the fight and be able to track his really hurt people. Okay, so when the victory track reaches 5, the victory track reaches 5, the forces of evil have been driven back today, but they'll eventually return. Actually, the glitter squad is victorious, and the forces of evil are been driven back today, but they'll eventually return. If the victory track reaches -5, the captain's vile plan has reached fruition. Causing untold destruction and misery. The Glitter Squad may be defeated, but they have yet to surrender. Because remember, this is cheesy anime. This is, again, you don't die in these magical girl shows. That's not the point. Like, you get defeated, but oh no, we'll come back next season and we'll beat your ass or something like that. That's kind of the idea. Kind of like if you reaches 5 or -5, that side kind of wins and you reset. So multiple player vet. So citywide brawl. So actually, I don't even really need this section anymore. Citywide brawl. A citywide brawl has multiple players take the role of multiple glitter squads, and captains of the forces of evil. See, as take the role of multiple glitter squads and captains of the forces of evil as they fight it out for supremacy. Each of these battles is a tense exchange. For both sides, as the victory track has been raised to 10 to -10. As the victory track has been raised to 10 to -10. The forces of evil are trying to lower all the same rules apply with the victory track. Victory track has all of the same rules being applied to it. One catch. The forces of evil, there can only be one victorious glitter squad, or captain in the campaign. There can only be one victorious glitter squad or one victorious captain in the campaign. As such, battles between glitter squads and and duels between captains are common. Let's see. These duels, interfaction battles. Actually, let's say these interfaction battles allow one player to claim power, claim resources, actually, these interfactions battles allow a player to become the hegemon of their faction. Should the faction emerge victorious, they've won. Hegemony. So yeah, I am saying spelling it right because it's a great fucking word. Great fucking word. Hegemony is one. Easy gain through victorious battles. Victorious battles against the other faction. Other faction and interfaction battles. Should these hegemony can be gambled. It can be gambled with for each let's see, for each however, being at the top means more targets on your back. More targets on your back. Targets on their back. When the player loses an interfaction battle, they will give up half of their hegemony to victor. So it's kind of this, like, you can gain some by winning these battles, but you're always, you get more. However, the more you have, the more people are going to be like, I just want to fucking kill you. When the hegemon player loses an interfaction battle, they give up half their hegemony to the victor. This only applies to the player. So it's kind of like, I have 6, so I'm the head, but you beat me in a battle, so I have to give you 3 instead of you just gaining 1. You've gained 4, I've lost 3. You're doing, you've kind of already eclipsed me. Like, you're now the problem child. I'm like, yeah, no, I lost mine. I don't have any of this. Or, oh, you totally do, or you don't. So it's kind of that back and forth. And like, you always want that person to win, mind you, because they usually probably have the strongest force, and every time you do, you're losing things. Interfaction battles have one more downside. Every time one occurs, the track shifts one step in their enemy's favor. So the idea is that the closer you are to victory, you're very close to victory, like in the grand fight, that's when you start kind of eyeing each other up, being like, this guy has like 4 more points than me. We need to fight him, and we need to bring him down. We can bring him down a notch or 2, then we can become the victors of this. But then you're lowering your track, like you're making your life harder. So it's kind of that back and forth, and that's kind of the idea. You're telling a story. You're kind of building up this narrative of people getting into each other, and the problem is the forces of evil are much more likely to get into these petty squabbles. They want to get into these squabbles because because they get more power by doing it, but they're also lowering their victory chance, and they're having to kind of duel with the fact of like, hey, yeah, my guy is getting his shit rocked, he's going to fucking lose. And we're like, hey, my list isn't very good when we're fighting. Every time it occurs, the track shifts one step in the enemy's favor. Citywide. So brawls. Citywide brawls are designed for fun. Are designed for fun stories rather than a large scale endeavor. Rather than a quote serious endeavor. Betray your friends. Betray your friends. Give people's lists away. Give people lists away. make sure to tell the enemy everything. Enemy everything, because if you can't win, you sure as hell don't want them to win. You sure as hell don't want them to win. Be petty, but have fun. It's a fun game. It's a fun story for everyone. That's kind of the idea. Like, have fun with it. Be a little bit silly. It's okay. Like, we're working together, but like, we're also trying to make sure that, you know, I become the hegemon, and we want to make sure that this happens. To make sure that this happens. And it's like, be a little bit goofy. It's okay. So with that, I believe that kind of summarizes everything. Yeah, pretty much what I need to do is I need to go through here and just double check everything, fix everything. And obviously I need to go through here and add some pictures in. But that'll take time, and that's just time. That's literally all it's going to be. It's going to be time and effort and sadness. So, Glitterbreak. Overall, here's the secret. Skirmish games are a bitch. Being perfectly honest with you, skirmish games have very different perspective, you could say. It has a very different look on things, and that very different look makes things a lot more complicated. I think so, anyway. Because you look at it, and things just get a little bit more hinky. Things get a little bit stranger. And the more you go into it, the more you start realizing these little things about skirmish games. I think like the biggest thing that kind of messed me up more than anything, the thing that really just like threw me for a goddamn loop, was just like tracking the spacing and making sure everything is accurate. Like I have my my tape measure out here because I'm like, how is this a good enough size? Is 6 inches good, or is like is this enough size? I don't know, because there isn't really like a. The thing is, like, I don't think there's like a really good like rule of thumb when it comes to skirmish games sometimes. For me anyway, because usually like in an RPG, I have a good rule of thumb when it comes to things. A player should on average succeed more often than they fail. Or, hey, a player should, by all accounts, have a slight advantage by virtue of being a player. So I have to accommodate that. Or, hey, the GM can make up for this. I don't think anybody appreciates the GM factor when we're writing tabletop games, tabletop role-playing games. Simply because having an arbitrator there means you can write some rules that maybe aren't the most clear, but simply like this is a rule designed to do this for this particular reason in this way. This game doesn't really have that. You know, in skirmish games, you don't really have things like that, and I think that's what makes it very fascinating. Is you have a very different approach to things. And I need to read more. I just need to read more skirmish games. Going to be honest with you, I just need to read more skirmish games. I need to go over more skirmish games. But it's like, it's a very different market. I think skirmish games are a very different market from tabletop role games. Simply because of like who it's appealing to, what it's about, and it is dominated by certain companies. That it's kind of harder to get quality stuff. Like I was referencing Unguard quite a bit here, and even then, like looking at a lot of the Ospreys, I was looking at being like, Osprey's like one of the big companies in skirmish games, and it's a bitch. It's a pain in the ass. I'm not gonna lie, just because there's so much things to consider with it. There's so many little parts moving in these games that sometimes it doesn't add up, and sometimes I look at it and I'm like, why aren't you working? Why are you the way that you are? And I think Glitterbreak went okay, not well. I'm not going to say it's going to went well. I think it went okay by just virtue of like, I'm going into something with zero knowledge. I've stepped foot first. I've, taken my first step into a very different field. But I think it was a rewarding field. I think I learned something from this. And I think I learned that I need to read more skirmish games. But yes, welcome to the finished product of the first Magical Girl Skirmish game that I really need to playtest. Which, luckily enough, it's a lot easier to playtest these kinds of games because it's rules. Like, at the end of the day, it's rules, it's ideas, it's concepts like that which are a little bit more simple. And on other hands, they may not be. It's just messy. That's what I'm trying to get across here. So yeah, Glitterbreak has reached its sort of conclusion. I will. The thing is, again, I need to go into it and like just patch things up and like make things pretty, but right now it's entered that beautiful playtesting phase, which I'll probably set something up on Tabletop Simulator, like just to be able to check things. Let's see. Actually, our next game is By Blade and Cross. Yes, By Blade and Cross. I have the idea for this game. I think everything is present. I think everything is there. I think I'm ready to make this game. It's going to be a different game. However, it's also going to be, for lack of a better word, it's going to be Lumen, but written by Notepad. That's what Blade and Cross is going to be. For the simple fact that I don't like Lumen very much, so I'm doing my own thing with it entirely. Because I am a sociopath. You may be wondering, like, why? It's like, the answer is because I am a sociopath. I have been talking with some people, and people have also approved somewhat of going forward with Little Red Carpet, the next Spregazine. Originally, I'm like, I'll make a meme and put it on Kickstarter. But I'm like, nope, not doing that. That sounds painful. So I'm not. I'm not going to put it on Kickstarter. More like just because I think the timing was weird and I kind of decided a little bit late. I don't know. I might, there might be a mid-March one. I don't know yet. But I want to get this game actually. I want to get this thing done before I kind of approach it. But yeah, this is going to be the next Spregazine. This is going to be the next one. I have the games. I was thinking about changing out Henshin Hero and instead swapping it with Okasan, because Okasan was in a kind of a weird place. Like, I could make Okasan its own thing or not. Probably the next one will be Twin Crowns. Like, Twin Crowns is most likely going to be the third, you could say, Spregazine, just because this one's really fucking easy to do, and I already have some of the things for it. But let's see, what else do we really have? What do we have on the list? So, nothing much, really. So, again, I'm going to continue with my perspective, because, again, after Blade and Cross, which does remind me, actually, because it's there, fuck. Yeah, okay, so this weekend I'm actually going to get a list of games that are going to get put up, that are going to have kind of the idea, and most likely, let's see, the 28th is when we're going to start formally on it. No, not even start formally. That's going to be the prelim day. The 2nd is going to be the first day of development. The 4th is going to be the 2nd day of development. Most likely into the 2nd week of March is when we'll roughly get done with Blade and Cross. I don't know how long this one's going to be. So probably I'll put out a thing on the 5th to get the votes in for the next week, and then we can start on everything then. So okay, that'll work. Tomorrow, what are we doing? Tomorrow we are going to work on a studying. We're going to work on something. I don't know what we're going to. Maybe I'll just do a stream where I rant about fucking the Metro series, because that could be fun. So, yes, thank you all very much. My name is Notepad Anon. This was Glitterbreak. Ta-da. I will see you all tomorrow. as usual. So feel free to come by. And I will... Blade and Cross will officially begin next Monday. So, thank you. Godspeed. Good luck. I'll catch you all on the flip side. Away!